What is a landscape? What should I put in my landscape? These are the two of the most common questions that I'm asked, and sometimes the answers aren't that easy. However, with a little bit of digging and research and a lot of question asking, I can find out what kind of person you are, and I can create an idea. And when I create that idea, that's when the design process starts and gets very exciting. Because a landscape should accentuate who you are. Just like when you wake up and you put on a suit and you choose a different tie, a different blazer, different colored socks, boots, and shoes, or how you accessorize your car with different rims and tinted windows, a landscape's no different. Just different material. And a landscape should tell a story of who you are. And here on the Central Coast, we have a very unique plant zone that allows us to plant anything. And we have such a beautiful culmination of mountains meeting the ocean, meeting the city, meeting the country. And we're so vibrantly filled with culture here on the Central Coast. Your landscape should really say something about that culture and the type of person you are. And in today's busy life, it's hard to trust somebody to not only design that landscape, but build it and install it. So why should you choose Dream Home Landscaping? And it's simple. It's because we care, and we're the best.
Hi.
We're the Skaggs family. Go ahead, honey.
No, you go. This was your vision. This was your idea.
Yeah, our yard was thrashed. We had black plastic covering our yard.
It was really bad.
Flow.
Really bad. It was ugly.
We weren't sure about a makeover for our water issues.
I wasn't sure about the makeover. I wasn't sure about spending the money in our yard.
I called several contractors. None of them answered. Then I came across Jay and Dream Home Landscaping, called back immediately and set up a job scope. And
Right away. He came out right away.
same day. And we marked it out. His knowledge and experience was just flowing out of him with his ideas and his enthusiasm. Yeah.
His enthusiasm really sold me because James told me last minute that this guy's coming over to look out to do our concrete landscape, and I was like, what? And as soon as Jay got here, I was just excited, and his enthusiasm and his knowledge got me excited and less worried about doing a project. It got me really excited to do it. I was super
Yeah, he sold me with his knowledge and creativity immediately.
There you go. Keep going back. Keep going. Yeah, dude. Big, full, broad strokes like that. Attaboy. Say hi, Dad. Okay, guys, on this project, we've already set the forms. We put all the road base in, the rebar, we poured the concrete, and we finished. Now we're doing a stamp. Now with this stamp, we're using 3 seamless skins. We're using a Roman slate, an Italian slate, and a sandstone stamp. What we're using is a bubble gum releaser with a black tint in it. So if you'll carefully look here, you're just coming out. We brought the concrete in dark gray, and we're just adding just a little bit of dark in here. And we're making sure to rotate all of these stamps. So as you pick up the stamp, you can see what a nice little impression it leaves. Now I'll rotate the stamp once. I'll come over here with a tiny overlap. Lay it down. Then we'll flip the mats.
The reason we're flipping these mats is so that you don't see the little inseams and it gets a nice blend. Now for these edges, we're using a much smaller skin, and this is a floppy, but it works great for little areas like this. Good morning, everybody. Now that the concrete's in and we've stamped it, we're doing the second phase of this project, which is the softscape, to soften up all the concrete and accentuate the landscape. We're going to start off with some taller plants. These are called tinniifolums, and these can achieve good heights. They have a beautiful dark stalk on them with really pretty green leaves. They can get really tall, where you can keep them short and squatty. They're a very controllable plant. Next we have a nandina, which is a heavenly bamboo, and I really like these. They're very elegant and they can work in a variety of landscapes, from drought tolerant to Mediterranean to tropical. Very gorgeous plant when they're kept trimmed properly. They have a very, very dark stalk on them, and I like doing a lot of stalk and foliage matching rather than waiting for the blooms for color. Moving along, these are a phormium, okay, and these are a dark red flax, and they're gorgeous. It's a medium variety, and they're going to get probably about 4 foot tall, and they're great for a lot of offset color. Moving along, these are a pink rock rose. Now these are a great drought tolerant plant. They work very well. They get nice squatty shrubs. They have a little pink flower on them that looks mashed, and they leave very little debris on the ground. They're great for filling in. Over here we have a Pittosporum Wheeler's Dwarf. Now these are great little plants for fill-in, for low growing shrubs, and they look really good if you take a look at the color offset next to the flax. It's absolutely gorgeous, getting that red off of the lime green. Over here, these are one of my favorite plants. These are just a regular daylily. Now I have a mixed variety of pinks, yellows, and reds in here, and they're great just to give you a little bit of a tropical look, also for a Mediterranean landscape. Very easy maintenance, once a year cutbacks, very gorgeous plants. Moving over here, this is a blue fescue. Now the blue festuca is a gorgeous plant. It's very turquoise, and it'll add a lot of color splash year-round in your landscape. Right next to it is a blue oak, which is a very similar plant to the blue fescue. It's a drought-tolerant plant. It's very, very turquoise, and it's good for putting around creek beds, drought-tolerant landscapes. It's good to add some color. Next, we have a verbena. Now these are a great low-growing plant that will really accentuate your landscape nice. If you really like the look of the lantana, but you're in an area that catches freeze, this is a great substitution, as it doesn't get affected by the freeze, but will have the same effect as lantana with gorgeous purple flowers, a very nice wholesome green foliage, very gorgeous plant. Next, we have a penstemum. Now this is like a bellflower plant. It's drought tolerant, it's gorgeous. They clump up, they can grow into clumps about 3 foot by 3 foot and have gorgeous flowers. Once a year cut back, low maintenance, very gorgeous plant. Following that is one of my favorite plants of all time, which is the Mexican sage. Now I love the Mexican sage for a variety of reasons. A, they're minty leaves, they're gorgeous, gorgeous stalk. It's white and almost looks like snow, and they have beautiful purple flowers year-round. Once a year cut back, low maintenance, great color splash against other red and burgundy plants, green plants. Just one of my favorite plants, very easy to take care of, drought tolerant. The deer hate them. I can't say enough good things about Mexican sage. Moving along down the line, this is a carex. Now this plant is to help accentuate some of the other plants, as what will happen is it'll have some brown and orange stalk in there. It's to give kind of a Mediterranean and drought tolerant landscape look. I love wavy grassy plants, and so I like to use these and splash them against taller plants that are green and red, and the orange just adds a lot of great color. Next, we have a kangaroo paw, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You find them in lots of landscapes. I just love the evergreen glades. Once again, I love grassy plants. They just have a lot of flair in the landscape. They get nice tall shoots on them, and they have little like furry paws, and they're just gorgeous. They come in a variety of colors, red, orange, yellow, just really gorgeous. This next plant here is probably in a tie with my all-time favorite plant. This is a Pennisetum rubrum. Most of you will call it a red fountain grass. And what I love about these plants is the color splash. They're very deep red. I love putting blue fescues around the bottom of them, putting them around Mexican sage. Very, very low maintenance. Once a year cut back. You just cut them back 2 inches off the ground at the end of January, and they just look gorgeous year round. Moving on down the line, these are a chalk finger ice plant. Now I really, really love these. They're not like your typical ice plant you see at the beach that get really invasive and out of control. These do have a flower. They're a little yellow flower. However, we teach our maintenance personnel to keep the blue flowers clipped out, or the yellow flowers clipped out. I just don't like them. I really like the turquoise, and if I take a little piece of this burgundy here, you just get such a wonderful color splash, and it's year round. It's just year round color. You're not waiting for blooms. Just a great way just to make your landscape come to life. Moving to the end here, this is an agave, and it's a little bit eaten up from the frost, but these plants do absolutely gorgeous, very drought tolerant, and they add such a wonderful drought tolerant Mediterranean and tropical feel to your landscape. They're very elegant. They show a lot of class. When people pull up and see these, they're always wowed. It's definitely a wow factor plant. These tall plants behind me, these are Dodoneas. Now this particular customer wants to screen from the next door neighbor and doesn't want them seeing what's happening. These plants are very avid growers. They're very impressionable plants, so you can keep them short and squatty, or you can let them grow into full trees. Very gorgeous. Once again, I love reds, so this is why I choose this. They have some green and some red. Very elegant plant if you keep it hand trimmed. Don't use hedge trimmers on them, always hand trim. Very, very gorgeous plant. And we're gonna get to landscaping. Okay guys, now that we're putting the final touches on the landscape, we're putting the bark in. Now we're using a double grind walk-on bark. Now this bark is serving two purposes. It's helped keeping the moisture in on the dirt, as well as giving very nice colorful touch to the finish of the landscape. So if you look here, we're just taking the redwood mulch, we're putting it around this penstemon, and as what happens is when we water in the early hours of the morning, the water's going down by osmosis, but when the sunlight comes out, we're not getting a lot of evaporation because the bark is keeping all of the moisture in. And this bark is making the dry creek really pop with all the colors and contrast. So let's continue barking. We're trying to make sure to keep it in at about 2 to 3 inches thickness here, because you're going to get some settling. As you can see, this looks absolutely gorgeous.
We're back! Oh my God, take a look at how beautiful our yard looks.
I'm blown away at the quality of workmanship, and the costs were much better than I expected, and Jay even threw in a few extra things. Dry creek bed, and
I love to shop. So Jay quoted a price, didn't go over budget, so I have money to go shopping.
And we got to have stamped concrete, and Dream Home Landscaping did it themselves. There were no subcontractors. It was quality, Jay and his crew.
And the guys worked their butt off. They were always here to answer questions. And Jay was here every day. And it just is amazing the transformation that we have going on in our front yard.
I was thoroughly impressed with the work ethics of Jay and Dream Home Landscaping, and the preparation for the concrete was far more than I imagined. With the road base, rebar, the quality of concrete, it was nothing that I imagined what it took to have a patio that looks as beautiful as this.
Forget the concrete. What about the landscape? The drought-tolerant plants and the beautiful dry creek that the guys put together for us. It's awesome.
Hands down, we give Dream Home Landscaping 100% recommendation.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
We're recommend him to everybody that we know. So get out of here so we can enjoy our landscape and our patio.